Imagine your mock exam for Cambridge IGCSE Computer Science starts in exactly 20 minutes. You sit down, flip open the paper, and boom, there's a heavy 6-mark question on internet structure and services staring right at you. You write down exactly what you memorized from the textbook, and you lose almost every single mark. Seriously, a single generic answer can completely ruin your grade boundary right out of the gate. Let's fix that strategy right now.
0 marks. Now you might be wondering, why? Well, writing perfectly memorized labels for internet services without any scenario context earns absolutely 0 marks in Cambridge IGCSE Computer Science. The examiners, they aren't looking for a human dictionary, they're looking for applied understanding. So if you simply drop terms like router, IP address, or packet switching onto the page without demonstrating how they actually function within the exact situation they gave you, you'll get absolutely nothing.
Section 1. The Mock Exam Trap. Here's a pretty harsh reality we have to face. Ordinary revision fails. Context is absolutely everything in computer science. If your entire revision tactic is just memorizing definitions of protocols and services on flashcards, your strategy completely fails the examiner's test of applied understanding. The topic of internet structure shouldn't be learned as just a bunch of isolated facts. It really has to be understood as a dynamic process that solves a very specific digital problem.
This right here is exactly where those marks bleed away. Students constantly hemorrhage marks under pressure by confusing nearby concepts. They'll mistakenly swap a protocol for a service, or they mix up memory with storage, or write a whole paragraph about a compiler when they actually mean an interpreter. Oh, and confusing social engineering with malware or validation for verification? It happens all the time. But listen, these aren't just minor vocabulary errors. They scream to the examiner that you don't truly grasp the underlying process.
Section 2. Diagnosing the examiner's demand.
Okay, so here is your first big quick win. You must diagnose before you write. You have to figure out exactly what the question is testing before your pen even hits the paper. You've got to stop, read those command words, and classify the task. Does it require hardware selection? Is it asking for logical reasoning? Or is it looking for a sequential process explanation? If you don't diagnose the demand correctly first, you'll just blindly write down everything you know. That wastes time and, worse, misses the exact marks the examiner is practically holding out for you.
I really need you to hold on to this thought. Generic responses rarely gain full marks. In a moment, I'll show you the examiner clue that changes the answer completely. But first, you need the framework that makes that clue obvious. Trust me, unlocking that specific clue is the literal difference between an average grade and absolute exam excellence. Let's build that framework right now.
Section 3. The 4-prompt memory structure. We're going to rebuild your memory structure with 4 precise prompts. Number 1, what is it? 2, how does it work? 3, where is it used? And 4, why is it better or worse than an alternative? This is your new standard operating procedure. If you cannot answer these 4 precise prompts aloud for every single internet structure concept, you know what? You're simply not ready for the examination yet. A strong explanation naturally moves through all of these phases. It actively stops you from just reciting terminology and forces you to explain the real practical consequences of a digital system.
Section 4. The Ultimate Examiner Clue.
So here it is. The ultimate examiner clue is specificity. This means anchoring your theoretical explanations directly to the provided scenario. Whether the exam gives you a school network, a factory robot, a retail website, or an embedded system, you absolutely must stay inside that context. Like we said earlier, generic responses rarely gain full marks, no matter how technically accurate your theory is. You could write the most brilliant, textbook-perfect paragraph on packet switching, but if you don't connect it to the actual scenario given in the prompt, you lose the points. It's as simple as that.
Section 5. Spot the Error Challenge.
It's time for a quick checkpoint. I want you to pause for a second and predict your answer for a scenario involving secure communication in a bank. The prompt asks you to explain the internet structure process. What is the most likely mistake you're about to make right now? Think about your immediate gut reaction. If your first instinct is just to aggressively define what encryption is, you are walking straight into the examiner's trap.
Let's break down the results here. A flawed student response usually relies on a generic label. They'll just name the device or the method, like SSL or TLS, without actually explaining how it works. A top-band answer, on the other hand, that student explains the process sequentially, step by step, and critically, they anchor it back to the specific bank scenario. They explicitly mention things like customer accounts, financial data transfers, and banking servers. That right there is how you turn raw theory into maximum exam marks.
Section 6. Layered Revision Cycle.
To make sure you never write a generic answer again, you need to upgrade your study habits to a 3-pass revision cycle. Pass 1. Secure definitions and contrasts. You need to know exactly why validation is not verification. Pass 2. Rehearsed worked explanations. Don't just read it silently, actually speak the process out loud, kind of like you're teaching it to someone else. And Pass 3. Exam adaptability. This is where you really mix up the scenarios. Try swapping out a standard website for an industrial control system and see if you can still explain the concept. This layered style forces your brain to adapt, meaning you absolutely won't panic when Cambridge throws a completely unique curveball scenario at you on exam day.
Section 7. Your next survival step.
You now have the framework for explanations, but this mock exam survival plan isn't over just yet. Because what if the question asks you to evaluate? If the examiner throws you a curveball and asks you to evaluate a database or a security method, this explanation framework we just built won't save you. Evaluate is a completely different command word that requires a completely different structure, which means, right now, you are missing a critical piece of exam armor.
To get the top band evaluation framework and survive the rest of your mock exam, you must click the next explainer right now and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCS to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Your mock survival plan continues next. But ask yourself, if you can't evaluate a system's weaknesses right now, how secure is your top grade really going to be?